Hello. We got some questions. It is now April 29th. It is April 30th. It is Buddha's birthday. Korea is basically like what coronavirus. People are out and about, having a grand old time. Today's a holiday. People are wearing masks, but some people aren't. And it's really busy. It's really busy out here. So a lot of people have been asking, why are you out at a bar? Why are you at a cafe? How are you doing all of these things? And Korea never actually placed an official, ban on anything. There was never a real enforcing of businesses to shut down. A lot of businesses shut down for a couple of weeks just because they felt it was a socially responsible thing to do, but the government never actually said you have to close, nobody can go outside, parks are banned. Like, there was never a ban on doing your day-to-day. I think some clubs were closed, like clubs and like juicy bars, but they should probably be closed anyway. So a couple of people, I've been getting a million questions because people that are still trying to come to Korea can't really find a lot of information about what they're going to experience. In my experience at the government quarantine facility, kind of painted a picture of where you might be brought. But there are some other places that I got to tell you about too. So I've been in contact with some people that came to Korea, had the same thing where they have a 90-day visa and they get on a bus and they're just kind of brought wherever they decide to bring them. Well, a girl who I was chatting with on Instagram, she was brought to a Ramada hotel. The Ramada hotel is close to Gimpo Airport. I guess it's another official quarantine facility, government quarantine facility. And she sent me a video from the inside of her room where she just had a little window that she could open, but it was small. It was a small hotel room. And so not all quarantine facilities are created equal. The one that I was put in, I gotta tell you, when I left that place, there's so many buildings, and I had been put in building number 5, but in a corner room. Probably the other rooms there were maybe single bedroom or studio apartments, but they put me in a nice room. So I was like, cool. But there are a few other places that you might get brought to that might be small. So definitely ask a lot of questions before you get on the bus. Ask them which quarantine facility they're taking you to. If they tell you, I don't know what they tell you. I have no idea. I should have asked more questions, but I was just being ushered onto the bus. So another question that I got on one of the other vids. Kobe, come here. Come here. Oi. Oh, it's Kobe. Kobe's just having a little day. One of the other questions I got is the facility going to be necessary if I have an address in Korea? I have an address in Korea, but because of the 90-day visa, couldn't go to it until a week later when they finally were convinced that that's where I've been living for the past few years. So if you have an ARC card, if you actually have a visa for Korea, I'm telling y'all, people out and about, people having a day. That whole family was not wearing masks. So we're back to life as usual here. Life as usual. They never didn't have life as usual. Korea's just been doing them. All right. So one dude was asking me, I have an address there, but do you have an ARC card? If you have an ARC, if you have a visa, your ID, yeah, of course you can go back to your house. But I'm trying to be in my video. But if if they ask you to quarantine for 24 hours at the airport, it's because of this. On April 14th, so this is already like a few weeks ago, I just haven't been on here because I don't see the point. But now people are asking me a million questions. So anyone that's entering from the US or from the EU has to get the COVID test on arrival. That changed from April 1st, where you were only getting the test if you were exhibiting symptoms. That's why I didn't get the test upon arrival, because I had no symptoms, super low body temperature. Now, since most of the people that are testing positive are people flying in, now everybody flying in from the States has to get the test within 3 days of arriving. So if you go to your house, you gotta wait for the phone call. They're gonna tell you where to come, and then you gotta get the test within 3 days. And they're really fast about it. One of my friends came back to Korea, I think it was 2 days ago. They went to Yongsan-Gucheon, same place I got the test, and they got their results in 7 hours. They still have to quarantine at their house, which is why we still got Kobe for the next 2 weeks. So every single person that's coming into, the new restrictions are anyone coming from the US or anywhere in the EU that's they're allowed to come into Korea. You have to check the airline, and you have to check at call the embassy or call the consulate before you get on the plane. You have to be able to show them that you have a phone number, and sorry, he's really scared. Kobe, 괜찮아. You got to be able to show them that you have a phone number. They got to be able to call you. They got to be able to contact you, and you have to show them that you can download the app. You have limited resources. Honestly, you should definitely, people that are coming, you have to just look up what are the restrictions from the country that you're coming from, but also the STEP, STEP, I think it's like Smart Travelers Enrollment Program or something. Sign up for that so that you get the email blasts. If anything changes on the Korea side, you'll get an email where you are saying, alert, when you come into Korea, this is what's going to happen. So the last alert that I got was April 14th, when they decided that every person from the US has to get the test upon arrival, because we're bringing it in. They also decided they're going to give free face masks to foreigners. Yay! Honestly, Korea been wearing face masks because of the air quality, so ain't nothing new there. Ain't nothing new there. We always been wearing face masks over here. This is a new one. If you break your quarantine, or if you try to break your quarantine, they will slap a smart wristband on you, which is basically a house arrest anklet. And that will track all of your movements, and you will be prosecuted if you try to leave your house, or if you try to leave the government quarantine facility. Another thing I found out, the waiver form. There's an isolation waiver form. If you were trying to come to Korea and you want to get an isolation waiver, call up the Korean embassy wherever you at. Ask them if you can apply for a quarantine exemption form. I know one person that successfully got this because he's an actor. He'd be famous. He's famous. That's probably why he got it. He's famous and he's shooting here. And that was enough for them to say, all right, you're going to get there and you're going to be immediately on set. So therefore, here's a form saying that you don't have the COVID. You can fly into Korea. But the minute he got into Korea, he had to take another test. So he's had to have like tests on both sides to make sure that he does not have it and it's negative twice before going on set. And that paperwork took a hot ass minute. It took a while to get that. And I think he might have just gotten it because he's famous. And really, that's all I got for like updates. Someone asked me, what are your recommendations for travelers that are coming into Korea? There's a few people that are coming into Korea so that they can wait out the 14 days here so that they can fly to somewhere else. Because right now, country to country restrictions are, if you're coming from China, you cannot come. But if you've been somewhere else for 14 days, then you can come to the States. Something like that. So people are like, oh, maybe Korea is an option. I'll just sign up for the $1,400, quarantine hotel and then fly to wherever they're going to go. So recommendations for that is just like I was saying before, you gotta bring the stuff that you absolutely gonna need. I feel like I should have brought a pillow, and I should have brought a towel. I should have brought a razor. Oh, girl. We had a situation. It's like a woolly mammoth. And I mean, bring paperwork. I don't know, bring all the paperwork that you get, because I get so much paperwork and a lot of it is conflicting. They don't know, like the actor that got the exemption form, they didn't even know about the exemption form in the States until the people here were like, this is a new thing, this exists now. Please approve this exemption, this form, so that he doesn't have to isolate for 2 weeks and he just come straight to, they didn't even know about it. So even the embassies and the consulates aren't communicating. The immigration offices in different countries aren't communicating. So you have to get all the forms, have them on hand, copies, etc. What else? Someone said, do you have to have a phone number? I'm pretty sure you gotta have some kind of way that they're gonna be able to contact you if you are quarantining here for 14 days. If on the side where you're departing, they don't ask you these questions, that's surprising, because that is one of the requirements now, is that you have to have a way that they can contact you once you're here, and you have to have the app. There's no other option. They will say, sorry, can't stay here if you can't update us on your symptoms every day. And then another, this is getting long and blah, blah, blah. So the last thing, someone was asking me, what is my plan now? Because I'm on a 90-day visa. I'm gonna update y'all about that in a little bit, because I am going to try to get a visa, but that means I will have to leave. So you gotta leave the country. I gotta leave the country again. I have until July 2nd, right? July 2nd is the, my 90 days. It'll be up. And so I have to figure out where I can go. Hopefully between now, it is almost May 1st. What? May 1st until June 1st, like things might change. And then hopefully by July 1st, more countries, sorry, Kobe's so she's tripping out. More countries will be open and the consulates will be accepting new visa applications. I don't know if that's gonna happen. When I was in Chicago, the Korean consulate there, they were like, yeah, we're open, but we're not processing new visas right now. You can't even apply for a new visa right now. So I don't know what's gonna happen. We'll have to see. So stay tuned, I guess. Let me know if you have any more questions. Catch you on the flip.